All right, we're back to basketball after the Stephen A. Smith video. I want to talk about Ben Simmons joining the Clippers. No, this was not worthy of a second channel video because I don't have a lot of thoughts, not something worthy of a full video, anyways. But Ben is joining the Los Angeles Clippers, a team that has been interesting this year. A lot of the perspective on them is just kind of like, yeah, I guess you're here too. Cool. Congratulations on still being around. That's about the extent of the accomplishment of the Clippers right now. Kawhi Leonard's been playing recently, and he's been okay, limited minutes. Not obviously quite Kawhi Leonard right now, but that's fine. Who knows if he'll get healthy for a prolonged period of time? My guess would be no. James Harden right now is kind of putting up not the best splits, but he still managed to make an all-star team because he is overall the offensive engine of a Clippers team that is in the playoffs in the Western Conference, especially a team that not many people expected to be in that playoff picture. But they add Ben Simmons, and Ben Simmons is coming off of his Brooklyn stint where he averaged 6 points, 6 rebounds, and 6 assists, and I believe he made over $80 million in his tenure there. So not a lot of great basketball, and it doesn't seem like a lot of the problems with his game have really dissipated. Still not at all an aggressive scorer. Even as a slasher, still not looking to slash. Not a jump shooter, obviously. That's never going to happen. And he's kind of got a limited utility as well. Ben is a complicated figure in the NBA because he was really good. He literally peaked as a top 20 player in the NBA. And then, of course, back injury, behind the scenes stuff with the Philadelphia 76ers, mental health issues. The mental health stuff is one that really I get hung up on because so many people were so dismissive of this at the time. And it makes me very sad because even if you're very confident that Ben Simmons was hitting the mental health excuse button so that he could get out of his responsibilities, even if you were certain that was the reality of the situation, even if there's a 1% chance you're wrong, it's not okay to make some fun of someone's mental health or to suggest they're lying about their mental health situation, because the only person who actually 100% knows what is going on in their own head is the person who's dealing with that. I mean, you don't actually necessarily 100% know, but at least knowing 100% that there is a problem. Throughout my own mental health struggles for years and years, and even still to this day, I don't quite know what's wrong with me, but I do know that something is, and I've been on and off of pills ever since to try and figure out what will fix it. We're on a new string lately. We'll see if it'll finally get her done. But the Ben Simmons mental health thing always made me furious. I always hated the way that people talked about it, and I still hate the way that people talk about mental health in sports to this day. But that said, the excuses ran out. The excuses for why he was the way he was ran out. Back injuries are also another thing that actually is a little bit of an excuse, because back injuries are notoriously difficult to heal, to diagnose, to manage. And I've had back problems because I am tall and I spend all of my life at a computer. So I'm always hunched over like this. And then I feel like shit when I stand up, and I'm like, I wonder what that's about. Obviously, I'm not playing fucking professional basketball, so that only makes the problem worse. But I don't think the return's happening. I don't think all-star Ben Simmons is coming back. And I wonder how long he will prove to have utility as a role player. I've suggested that he join the Denver Nuggets in the past because the Denver Nuggets are a team that Jokic is on, and Jokic, in terms of the impact he had on Russell Westbrook, I feel like he could have a similar impact with Ben Simmons as a cutter, as a finisher, and all that. Ben Simmons can do the same things Russell Westbrook can do in terms of, touch passes to Jokic, making sure Jokic gets the ball in the right position. All that works really well. Not to mention what Ben Simmons brings to the table as a defensive player, potentially as a larger wing. That helps in the rim protection department. That helps in just the versatility on the perimeter, being able to switch among different positions, maybe being able to help Jokic in certain situations where smaller players are not able to. that stuff would be great. And, still holding out hope that he could eventually be a Denver Nugget. It doesn't make sense in the present situation with Russell Westbrook there, because you can't really play Russ and Ben at the same time. You sure as shit can't play them together at the same time next to Nikola Jokic. You sure as shit can't play them together at the same time next to Nikola Jokic and Aaron Gordon. So on that front, I get why he's not a Nugget right now. What he means for the Clippers, well, they don't really have a bona fide backup center. Their center is Zubats, and Zubats has been really good for them. He's having a career year. But you get more versatility out of Ben Simmons as a center. Problem is, you can really only do it in spot minutes, against real offensive fives, against really powerful fives who will make you pay for putting a smaller guy on him. Ben Simmons isn't actually big enough. He might be 6'11" with a long wingspan, but he's not that strong. He doesn't have the weight to throw around that a normal center does. Obviously, he brings the playmaking element to the table. Obviously, he's a pretty solid, good defender, even still. I don't know if he's quite as good as he was at his peak, because it doesn't feel like his athleticism is at its peak. But in terms of the Clippers, they don't really have a ton of ball handlers. They do when everybody's healthy, because Kawhi can be a ball handler, but Norman Powell does a little bit of ball handling. But it's primarily James Harden is the engine. He is by far and away leading the team in assists, leading the team in touches, usage, percentage of time with the ball, whatever metric, dribbles, passes, all across the board. James Harden is number one on the Clippers in that. So Ben could provide some playmaking off of the bench when Ben Simmons, or when James Harden is not playing. It's also ironic that these guys are on the same team, given that they were traded for each other. It's a interesting move. I think it can work in spurts. I don't know if it works in some sort of significant way. I don't think Ben can have some sort of significant role. And I'm pretty doubtful he can have a significant role on really any NBA team. Maybe 15-minute per game type of role. The other thing is there's always going to be the people who are sad that he's not who he used to be, myself included. There's always going to be the people who make fun of him for that, myself not included. But with the lack of money behind him, with him not being one of the higher paid players in the league, with him ideally being healthy more consistently, at the very least, the drama and the shitstorm that followed his Sixers tenure can at least be something in the past for him officially. I don't think there will be people who will ever let him live that down in totality, but at the very least, the pressure point is not as high as it used to be. On the DEFCON meter of shitting on Ben Simmons, we're very much in the yellow range right now rather than the red, and that's good for him. I wish him all the best. I hate seeing what-if situations in the NBA. One last thing. I can never get over that if he could still just be more aggressive driving and be night and day difference. It's not like he can't drive. I don't know why Ben doesn't drive. If I was Ben Simmons, I would drive. That's just my take. But yeah, Ben Simmons is a Clipper. That's my thoughts. Bye.